This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 361 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. Horse husbands and lots of product reviews. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are EquiSketch and EasySignsOnline.com. Coming up in today's show, we have Timothy Harfield of the Horse Hubby blog. I had a chance to chat with him about his new fun blog. And then also, Jennifer helps us out with an interview that she did all about common mistakes that are made when you're building an outdoor arena and how to avoid those. Plus, Helene and I have some Kickstarter picks of the week and some products that we'd like to talk to you about that will make listening to our show easier.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. Bring you the news through hail or high water while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
I'm Glenn the Geek.
And I'm Helena B., and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Well, Helena, have you been riding much up there, or what's going on? I haven't heard much about riding lately.
Oh, I know. I feel like a dunce. I have not been doing a lot of riding. I mean, the occasional hack out, down the road, along the trail a little bit, but nothing.
Just busy or weather or both?
It's a little bit of everything. Summertime is very, very busy here when you live at the beach. So we've had 2 sets of families, a wedding.
You had a ton of company.
And then the kids are out of school, and there's just been a whole bunch of things. And now it's like, a million degrees. And believe it or not, my work has actually ramped up quite a bit this summer. So I'm putting in close to 40 hours a week, plus all the farm work and all the kids shuffling around. So sadly,
you are doing the single mom thing right now.
I know. My riding time has suffered because of it, which, you know what, is fine because the bugs are out and it's super hot and my horses are like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll get back into it. And there has to be a routine. Like, I am definitely a creature of habit. I'm a lot like my horses. I like things to be predictable and to run the same way just about every day. And then, then you can kind of get your life under control and you can entertain offshoots and tangents here and there comfortably. But when you got, things that are happening that throw you off your schedule, I get all like crazy. My hair gets on fire. My eyes go googie. And the last thing I need to be when I'm like that is in the saddle. So Brody's just like, you're cool, girl. You're cool. You do not need to tack me up.
Well, I wanted to, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. I had done a letter to the listeners over the weekend. And
I didn't see it until you forwarded the responses to me.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this? This is very nice. And it was well written.
And I want to play it for those that aren't on our mailing list because, a very small percentage of our listeners are actually on the mailing list. So if you don't mind, I want to play it for everybody here. And it was kind of an open letter I did to listeners. Unfortunately, I titled it wrong because everybody thought we were signing off and calling it quits. Apparently, that's the way it looked, and that's not what I meant to do.
I know. It was a little scary looking. All.
But I did record it, so you want to take a listen to it? And I want to chat with you a little bit after, okay? So let's take a listen to it.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Glenn the Geek here. I just wanted to share an open letter that I wrote to our listeners that was emailed out over the weekend, and I wanted to make sure I read it on all the shows this week as well. And this is what it says. Good morning, loyal listeners. I apologize for the length of this email. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your support over the last 7 years. In August, the Horse Radio Network will be entering its 8th year. We have come a long way from 12 downloads after the first 3 months to over 7 million in 2014. It's all thanks to you. our loyal listeners and auditors. With your help listening to the shows and supporting the sponsors, we have been able to make the Horse Radio Network one of the top podcast networks in the world. We have done that in a relatively small niche market, but a dedicated, addicted market. It is the love of the horse that brings us together into one great big equine family. And with social media, I think that family is even growing closer and closer all the time. One of the missions of the Horse Radio Network was to help cross the discipline and breed divide and to unite the horse world. We hope to open people's eyes and maybe get them to try new things, and we know many of you have. We have more work to do in this area, but we are chipping away at it and will continue. We have been blessed with the best hosts for the shows over the years. They do the shows because they love being with you every week, certainly not for the money. I could not be more appreciative of their efforts and their dedication to their shows. Let's take a look at some of the numbers that you, the hosts, and the sponsors have helped create. 4,176 episodes we've created, which puts us as one of the probably top 10 largest podcasting networks in the world. 130,000 listeners in 92 countries, over 7 million downloads in 2014 alone. We've interviewed over 6,000 guests, had over 600 product reviews, and hundreds of giveaways. Finally, thank you to our fantastic sponsors who have made all this possible over the years. We always say we couldn't do this without our sponsors, and that is true. We have to test and approve all products we endorse, and we bring you only things that we like and use. You can trust when we talk about a product or run a commercial that we believe in that product or it would not be on the air. Thank you for supporting these companies. I'm raising my glass now with whatever adult or non-adult beverage you have. Here is to another 7 wonderful years together. Now go ride your horse. And thank you, Helena, for all of that. We have our going into our 8th year now coming up here in August. And when I started putting the numbers together, part of the reason I did that letter is I was doing a speech last night at the Florida Podcasters Association in Tampa. And I was putting a PowerPoint presentation together. By the way, you know how long it's been since I put a PowerPoint presentation together? It's been a long time. And I was putting that together, so I was getting some numbers together and everything. And then I just started realizing, wow, and they had more people there last night to watch because we really are one of the leaders in podcasting. Now, none of us are making, I'm certainly not making the most money I've ever made in my life. That is for sure. And, none of the hosts make a lot of money doing this, but we're proud of what we put out, and we're glad to be with you every week and hopefully provide a little entertainment and a little fun. And Helena, you have only seen a touch of the letters. I'm compiling it all into one big long email. I'm going to send it out to the hosts. We probably had 50 or 60 people that wrote us emails over the weekend. I'll be sending all those out to you.
Wow.
For you to take a read of. There was just so many I couldn't keep up. But thank you to everybody who sent nice comments and nice notes, and we really appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun doing this with you over the years, and we're really proud of the fact that we truly are one of the leaders in the podcasting world. There's very few. As I said, there's probably 5 or 6 that I can figure out, networks that have produced as much content as we have, interviewed as many guests as we have as many shows as we have, and really have a bunch of hosts who really get along well, enjoy each other, and have fun doing what they're doing. So, that's kind of neat. I don't know any other place that happens. So, it's in the little tiny niche market of the horse world, which in the scope of things is pretty small.
And that's okay. We like to live there.
Yeah.
We don't need to be big fish in a big pond. We love our pond very much, and and the fellow fish that we swim in our pond with. It's the horse world is a niche market, but I think it's a lifestyle thing. And there are golfers and there are boaters and there are horse people, and it's a great place to live. It's a great place to live among people who share your passion.
I had a conversation with a guy the other day who, and I'm trying to remember the name of this place, and I cannot remember it for the life of me right now. I have to look it up. But he actually has a very similar network to ours. It's probably the closest that I could find to the way we operate. Mm-hmm. And his is all about microbreweries. So he has 5 or 6 different shows on the network, but it's all about beer.
Passion is like a magnet.
Yep.
It draws people to it, and you can build an entire. You can focus your life around it. And again, I think that's an okay thing, because your passion is like the food. It feeds you. It gives you energy. It keeps you going. Gives you reason to get up every day, and then to share that with somebody else, like whether it's beer or horses. Although beer and horses is kind of fun too. You put those together, you can double your pleasure. But when we started this thing, there was all we had was a little passion and a good sense of humor. and that's pretty much all we still have.
And it was only because Helena and I liked hanging out together every week that it continued, because that was about the only thing we had at that point. We wanted to call ourselves the voice of the horse world, if you remember right, when we first started, but we thought that was too arrogant at that point, because we really weren't,
It's true. We were the voice of nothing.
Nothing. we were our voices, and that was it.
We were the voice of hope.
But you know what? After about 4 years and we had all the shows going and everything, we said, yeah, now I think we can say that we're the leader in this space and in our vertical market, the horse world, and I think we still are. There's no question about that. But and thanks to you, thanks to the listeners, we really appreciate you, and we're glad you're here every week.
And it's a lot of fun to have them participate. For example, when we had our friends from the Newmarket, I'm going to totally butcher this, Middleton Valley Hounds, is that what it was?
Yes, last week, yeah.
They're listeners and friends of ours and auditors. And so this isn't just about us. It's not a one-to-many broadcast. It is now truly interactive. We're involving our friends and our fellow horse lovers. So that's the thing that I like the best. We've attracted these friendships.
Well, and I've heard from many, 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 many listeners saying you guys are part of our family now, because we listen to you, we know about your lives, and the listeners are really part of ours too. We've made a lot of friends, and I know one of the coolest things that's happened, in my opinion, and this is thanks partly to Facebook also, is there's a ton of listeners now that have made friends with other listeners. And they don't even live near each other. They pretty much have nothing in common except they like the shows, and they become friends. And I see them talking on Facebook, and that really warms my heart to know, because that was the whole mission. That is our mission statement, is to unite the horse world. So good for you guys for doing that too. Well, let's get on with the show. What do you think?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it.
Here we go. We're going to be starting with one of our sponsors, and then we're coming back. I had a little horse husband geek out time. I didn't even let you in on this interview. Screw you. You're not allowed. This was with Timothy Harfield of Horse Hubby Blog. It's a new blog that's out there. I absolutely love this. I read it everything he writes, I read. He is a great writer, and he happens to be the husband of three-day eventer Elisa Wallace, who's a top, if you're a new listener to the Horse Radio Network, you might not know her. If you've been around a while, you know exactly who Elisa Wallace is. She has trained Mustangs. She's the one that competes Mustangs in eventing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Has been a guest on our show and a number of shows here on the Horse Radio Network. She's a top-level advanced eventer, and her husband is writing this blog now, and it's so good. He's kind of taken the Horse Hubby thing by storm, and I said, you got to come on the show. So we had a little Horse Hubby, geek out, and I want you to hear that right now. Easy Signs Online is the official sign company of the Horse Radio Network. This week's product highlight are their personalized nameplates. Perfect for horse stalls, tack rooms, lockers, bedroom doors, dog kennels, or whatever you can think of. Choose from hundreds of online graphics to further customize the nameplates from EasySignsOnline.com. Made from 1/2 inch thick solid PVC signboard, these colorful and unique one-sided nameplates are 3.5 inches by 16 inches and are designed for durability, long-term indoor or outdoor use. They are only $39.95 each, and remember, free shipping on most orders over $100. Visit them at EasySignsOnline.com. Well, hi, Tim. Welcome to the Stable Scoop Show.
Hey there, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
You are doing a terrific job. Being America's horse husband, I have to take a look at anything that's horse husband related, and I officially approve.
I appreciate that.
Not that you cared, but I wanted to tell you that anyway. So, yeah, you're doing a terrific job with your blog.
Yeah, thank you. It seems to have, it began as kind of a lark, but it has really taken off. And in fact, today we made we had a high point, the most recent interview with Jamal Awad, Holly Bennett's
Yep.
husband, has made, I think we're over 3,000 hits just for the day. So it's really taken off in the last few weeks.
Well, Jamal was on with us for one of our Horse Husbands episodes that we have done in the past. And so, he, longtime listeners of this show will remember him. He was a terrific guest. Nice guy, super nice guy. Now, tell me, you're obviously a horse husband. Did you marry into this, or were you into horses before?
Not at all. I'm very, very new to horses. I barely touched one before I met Elisa.
And how long have you two been together? Like totally together, and then we'll ask how long you've been married.
Sure. Well, we met in 2010, so we're going on 5 years. And then we were married in 2013. So we've been married for almost 2 years. We're about to celebrate our 2-year anniversary in October.
Well, as you know, we've interviewed Elisa on several of our shows many, many times. And so what I want to do, though, is for people who haven't heard the interviews with Elisa, I want to give people an idea of what you married into. Because what you married into an intense horsewoman.
I sure did. She's the most passionate person I know. Second to none.
She is. She events. She trains Mustangs. She does everything that's the most dangerous things you can do in the horse world, which must make you feel great sometimes. I know I married an eventer too, so I know what that's like. But, she is so passionate and so into everything that she's doing. And, of course, she comes from a horsey family. So not only did you marry a wife that was into horses, the whole bloody family's into horses.
That's true. And I couldn't have asked for a better father-in-law. Rick Wallace is, the team also eventing down in Tallahassee, has been a really strong supporter of both Elisa and me, but also has helped me to navigate the equestrian world in a way that I've really appreciated.
Now, are you full-time at the farm, or do you have a full-time job as well?
Oh, heck no, I work for a living.
Okay, that's what I thought. Can I ask what you do?
Absolutely.
I knew somebody had to pay the bills.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my favorite expression is that horses are a great way to make a small fortune. You start with a large fortune, and then you get into horses.
That's true.
So I'm a project director at Georgia State University in the Office of Enrollment Management and Student Success. Essentially what I do is I look at student data, use that as a basis for identifying students at risk, and then developing interventions to increase their chances of success through the degree.
Okay, cool. Very good. Well, that's about as far away from cleaning a stall as you can get.
It is and it isn't. It is different from cleaning stalls, to be sure. I'm far more clean at the end of the day than Elisa is. But it relates to sort of the way in which I can support Elisa insofar as because I do have a strong background in analytics. I also have a market research background and a marketing background. And so to take my experience and to bring it into my life with Elisa has allowed me to really come alongside her in a way that supplements what she does and supports what she does without actually getting in her way.
Well, I'll tell you,
we make a great partnership.
You've both done a great job because Elisa is one of the best at marketing herself as a rider.
No, she's terrible at it.
Well, there you go.
And this is what I love about her, is that Elisa is the worst person in the world when it comes to self-promotion. For her, when you ask her about herself, the first thing she'll do is point to her horses, From time to time, people have asked her to do selfies. The selfies are always feature other people in the photograph. She's the first person to point elsewhere and to sort of praise her horses, to praise those around her, and the least likely person to sort of take credit and to praise herself, which is why it's so easy to promote what she does, because she's so humble and she's so sincere. So she's incredibly passionate. But she does it for the sake of being excellent, for the sake of her horses, and for the sake of excelling at her craft. And so when you have something as excellent as Elisa Wallace, it makes it very easy to sell her, so to speak.
Well, you do a good job. You do a good job. She's a lot of fun, and we certainly enjoy having her on the shows. And, she's motivated Jamie, the co-host of the morning show, to get a Mustang, which she, wasn't going to do years ago. Motivated her to do that. She's having fun. She's right now out at Monty Roberts' place with her Mustang, getting some training and working with Monty on it. So, I mean, you can't ask for better than that. And that was all, I think, as a result of Lisa putting it in her head. So.
Oh, and pestering her. I follow that saga. Every time she's on their show, she pestered Jamie.
Oh, yes, she did.
So it was great to see her, Kate.
You know what? That Mustang, too, that Jamie has, I think in the end is going to end up being a nice little event horse. So, there you go. It all works out.
Unsurprising. Right?
Yep. Well, she does a great job. You're doing a great job. So what do you want to do with this blog? Where do you see it going? What do you see it becoming? And give out the address again.
Okay, so the blog is horsehubby.com. And I have to give credit to my wife for that. I was playing with her different things, and she's good at a lot of things. She's also good at naming things. And I think a lot of equestrians really like to put names on things, and Elisa loves to do that. So she was able to name the blog horsehubby.com. What sort of motivated it, if I'm sort of absolutely honest, is boredom. What drives Elisa's passion, what drives me is the strong desire not to be bored.
Well, you're a good writer, too. You're a good writer.
Well, I also have a PhD, so I sort of write for a living.
Yeah, I mean, you really you can tell that you're a good writer. You're entertaining. It's fun. I didn't know you had a PhD. You're a doc?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a doctor in philosophy of all things. I have a doctor in philosophy. And what's funny is that when Elise and I first met, in the early stages of our relationship, I was actually teaching a course at Emory University on the philosophy of love and friendship. And so I used my class as I shamelessly used my class as a way of vetting Elisa as a partner. And I used Elisa for material upon which to draw to sort of explicate certain concepts in the classroom. So it worked really nicely at that time.
I'm going to say, though, you're not a very good doctor. You went through all of that, and you still ended up with a horse girl. I don't know, Tim. I don't know.
No, but it has certainly absolutely enriched my life. I'm absolutely a better person for it. So what sort of
horse manure will do that. It's a great fertilizer.
You know what PhD stands for, Glenn?
What?
Piles higher and deeper. So I leave one pile and I return home to another. But I love them both dearly.
She's great. You guys, congratulations again on the blog. And, I started a page on Facebook, and I'm going to make you an administrator so you can cross-promote your page because we don't do much with it. It's called Horse Husbands Unite. And we started it as a lark for a place for horse husbands to get together and really, say whatever we felt. But the problem is almost all the horse, it's mostly women who joined to see what we were saying. So it kind of defeated the purpose. Right.
So if I could sort of say a little bit about so I sort of joke, I'm half serious and half joking when I say that what sort of motivated the site was boredom. What ultimately is propelling the site and what I hope to do with it is use it as a place for developing community, for basically making connections. So for making connections between people who are in love with horse people, and more broadly speaking, that includes, men, women, siblings, friends, fathers, all that other stuff. So forming connections between that and also cultivating excellent relationships between people and their horse relationships. So between men and their horse wives or prospective partners. So forming excellent connections that way is sort of a real strong sort of motivator for that. Like you, I've just started. So that's just a very broad sort of way of viewing it. the more sort of specific views to really focus on horse husbands, because you go to a horse show.
Oh, it's still 95%. It's
right.
Yeah.
But you go to horse shows and like, Glenn, did you grow up around horses?
No, I married into it 30 years ago.
Right. And so you remember, going to your first horse show or two or three and feeling absolutely lost.
Yes.
And so
I remember that. I still go and I'm somewhat lost. So.
Well, right. And so you see these poor suckers who are sort of like, don't know what to do with their horses, don't know what to do with themselves when they're not involved, and you feel, because you were there and you are there. So I want to sort of provide wisdom from other horse husbands. Janelle is an excellent example. People who have sort of walked through it. Brian Rutledge is also another excellent one, especially as people start looking to have new kids. And so to sort of provide guidance and support, but also, I'm also thinking of as a way of creating a network of drinking buddies, so to speak.
Well,
when you're at a horse show.
There you go.
And you're not by yourself.
I always thought that we could build a tent, put some TVs in there, some couches, set up a bar, and we could make a fortune at horse shows.
I agree. I absolutely agree. The hubby hut.
Yes, that's right.
I just gave away my idea. But,
that's right.
Or your idea. We can share it.
Do you think we ought to get it? We ought to get a tent at Rolex. I'm telling you, we could make money. I'm telling you.
See, on the one hand, yeah, that sounds great. But at the end of the day, what's really driving me is just supporting the community, right? Supporting husbands who are sort of, I don't want to call them necessarily heroes, but they're definitely part of the team, but often unsung and in the background. So I want to sort of promote them, develop a community, and that's sort of the real driver behind it. It's forming community, forming those connections, and providing a really valuable service to the equestrian community in general, because it affects everybody.
What's the website again?
www.horsehubby.com.
Horsehubby.com. Thank you so much, Tim. Glenn the Geek here. The life of horse person is hard enough, and we all hate doing the required paperwork, and unfortunately many of us never get around to it, and it just piles up on our desk. That is about to change thanks to the EquiSketch Records app for your iPhone or iPad. My wife and I use it to track our horses, and we absolutely love this thing. EquiSketch Records is the most thorough and complete equestrian records app on the market today. We love this app because you can track your farrier work, your dental, your coggins, medicines, worming, and so much more. And you can get reminders on your device when all of these things are due. You'll never forget a worming or shots or farrier visit again. But it not only tracks your horse, you can also manage your horse shows, including individual events. You can manage riders, including lessons and memberships, and so much more. And you can sync it between your iPhone and your iPad, and all of this for the price of a couple of cups of coffee from Starbucks. Search for EquiSketch Records in the iOS App Store or go to EquiSketch.com. That's EquiSketch.com. EquiSketch.com. All right, coming up next, we got a little help from my wife, Jennifer. And by the way, happy anniversary, Jennifer. Tomorrow is our 27th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, so happy anniversary to her. I surprised her, didn't tell her. When I gave her her card for our anniversary, I had in there a picture of the hotel. We're going to be going to Daytona Beach for the weekend and hearing the waves. So we're looking forward to that. You know what I want to do? It's on my bucket list. I've never done it. Maybe you've done it, is ride a tandem bike. I've never ridden a tandem.
I might have done it when I was like a teenager down at the Jersey Shore or something. Yeah.
I've never done it. Always wanted to do it. It's probably not as fun as it looks, so we'll find out.
I think it's fun. If I can remember correctly, I think it's pretty fun.
It requires cooperation. I figure working together for 27 years, we probably can pedal at the same speed. So yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. But anyway, so we're doing that over the weekend. And we're very excited to be getting away from the four walls here. So she helped us put this interview together along with Lindsay White from Riders for Helmets. And they had a friend. We have a friend by the name of Glennie Walford from Martin Collins, USA. They're the footing company.
What a cool name, Glennie.
I know, Glennie. Yep, that's her name. She's a
probably
delightful
like,
lay too.
yeah, like super smart,
Yep.
and like maybe she might be magical too.
And she understands everything there is to know about arenas. And they put an article together, the 10 most common mistakes when building an outdoor arena.
Oh, I
So
need to listen to this.
I asked the two of them to put this together, and they did that. So that's what this is.
So we've got a very special guest on the show today, Glennie Walford of Martin Collins USA. Martin Collins is the leading surface provider around the globe. So thank you so much, Glennie, for joining us.
No, thank you very much for the invitation. Delighted to be here.
And for our listeners, could you possibly tell them a little bit about your background, how long you've been with Martin Collins, and what you do?
Sure. Well, I've been with the company now for 24 years. Based in the UK to begin with, and then got involved with Europe and overseas, and overall responsibility now for Martin Collins USA, which covers everything basically from working with our approved contractors on construction to providing arena footing.
Wonderful. And I know you're going to talk to us a little bit about today about a topic that comes up very frequently, so I am told. And that is the common mistakes that can be easily avoided when building an equestrian arena. So I think to set off with, I know some people had questions about the quantity or quality of stone. If you can maybe expand on that and elaborate.
Okay, use of stone. We build on a level free draining base. And that is to say we don't rely upon horizontal drainage. We work on vertical drainage. So ideally, surface water is going to permeate through your footing, through the underlying layers, into a series of drains, so that the surface water is taken away from your arena, so to give you a consistent ride. Stone is important to ensure that the stone is clean. You don't want any stone that has got what we call fines or debris in it, because that will, in time, render the drainage impervious. So you want a clean stone. But if we talk about the layers first, you're going to start off, obviously, with a level base. That's your earth. And most arenas are on what we call a cut and fill. And a cut and fill is literally taking from the high spot and leveling out the lower spot. So you end up with a level arena. These level bases now are becoming much more common. Most people are moving away from, quite severe falls where they rely on the fall to take the water away. And of course, in doing so, it takes part of the footing away, which then renders the footing uneven and unlevel. And also crowns, domes, very difficult to maintain a ring with that. And again, you're relying upon the water hitting the top of the crown and draining off all the way around it. So good news is the trend is thank goodness, moving away from that. But the danger points that I would say are with the drainage system, subbase. If it is a heavy clay subsoil, it is not going to drain. You need a land drain or French drain, as I've just described, to take the water away. Yeah. Because as you know, water just does not drain through clay.
Nope.
So it's important to know your own subbase.
Absolutely.
Secondly, the stone must be clean. And then once you start moving up from the drainage layer, I would say, think about the membranes that you're using. Go for tough ones that come from a reputable supplier. And we use a very good supplier just outside Cincinnati, US Fabrics, who are very, very good. And then if you're going to put your stone base in, ensure that it's clean stone, ensure that it's level. The top membrane, ensure that it is heat flame welded so it can't come apart and start rising up through the surface, and that it is attached around that retaining board or constraining board so that it's not going to shrink back and come up along the edges. And then also ensure that, the footing is down and it's compacted and it's level throughout, so you don't end up with 2 inches in one place and 6 inches in another.
Right. Great. Brilliant points on drainage there. So if we move on now to fencing, and what advice do you have on fencing, Glennie?
Fencing, well, this really is a very personal item. And I've learned a lot actually over the years being here, because in England, we always tend to just go with the standard post and rail fencing, 3 rail, or we have what we call dressage fencing, which are the 2x8 boards with a little capping on the top, which finishes it off quite nicely. Here, there are a multitude of different types of fencing. Some work better in some areas than others. You know, timber obviously isn't going to adapt well to a very humid climate. So if you are going to use timber, ensure that it's what we call tannalized or weatherproofed. Again, it's always our recommendation that an arena is fenced purely from the safety aspect. But some people only like to have their 2 constraining boards. Some people like their fencing. Some people have what I call a hip height fencing, common a lot in show facilities, and also a lot of people install that in Florida, which looks super. There are other types of fencing on the market now. This plastic fencing that these companies are selling, which is supposed to be maintenance free, and they should be able to cope with UV rays, etc. So I always find fencing is a very personal thing. So we always try and work alongside the client, but just advise them accordingly. But for us, that post and rail fencing is really based on safety.
Perfect. So what about building at the wrong time of year or in the wrong conditions?
Okay. Depends, of course, where you are, but go for what would be favourable weather. You don't want to get all your machinery out there and find that you've hit this sort of monsoon this season and you can't get a piece of machinery on the ground. We're experiencing this at the moment with the crazy rainfall that we've been having. And as I say, today, we're actually out levelling an arena that we haven't been able to get onto for, several months. So go for a favourable time of year, but also have in the back of your mind to watch that long-term weather forecast. So don't go building something, when you know the rainfall's going to be heavy and you run the risk of getting your machinery stuck. Trucks can't get in to the property. That's another big thing to consider. When you're going to build this arena, think about your access. Can trucks get in? Some people can take the 18-wheeler, bigger tractor trailers, and that actually cuts down on the expense because they can get more tons on board per truck. So it's going to be less expensive than if you have to go for what they call dump trucks, that can take slightly less, smaller, get onto a tighter access much more easily. So think about all those sort of things.
And what about incorrect cut and fill? Can you firstly explain that what that is, and then just give us a bit of some tips on that?
Yeah, your professional installer will come along and he will look at the site on which you're wanting to build, and he will laser level it. So he will get a datum point, and then he will go around with the laser to the size that you want to construct the arena, and he will tell you what that fall is. And if it's not too severe, then it's not a bad place to be. And then he will explain to you that what he's going to do is he's going to cut from the high area and push to the low area. So if you take a center point on the arena that is level, and his laser will tell him that, and then from beyond that point, it starts to drop off. So he's going to push from the high spot to that center level and then spread out the lower level to bring it all up even. Does that make sense? So it's all, your eye is one thing, but a laser is another.
Great. That's some wonderful tips. Gosh, there's so much to think about when you're building an arena.
Well,
there is
a lot to it, and it is a big expense. And we do say make a checklist. We try and keep it as simple as possible, but as clear and concise as possible. And if you're going to employ a professional installer, you don't want to be standing out there watching him at each one of these strategic points, checking to see if he's doing it correctly. That's why you're paying a professional installer to do the job. So it is critical that whoever you choose, you check them out thoroughly. Takes time, might make some phone calls, cost you some petrol in traveling, but do it and speak to existing clients so that they'll tell you exactly how they found him to work with, what his code of ethics were, and were they happy with what he did for them.
Absolutely. I think definitely we're hearing loud and clear from that, Jennifer, that you have to work with a professional anytime you're thinking about an arena.
Well, it's one of those things that saving early costs later kind of a thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because it's a long-term investment. You're not building a riding arena so that it'll last 2 or 3 years. You're really building a riding arena that you're hoping to last a generation.
Yeah.
True. Absolutely right.
Wonderful.
Absolutely right.
Well, thank you so much for the great tips today, Glennie. And if anyone has questions on Martin Collins footing, I know they can go to martincollinsusa.com to learn more about the footings. And I think there's also a free footing guide that's available as well. So if you can just provide your email address, Glennie, and then if anyone wants to obtain the complimentary footing guide that covers a lot of great information on footings.
Yeah, sure. It's just my name, which is Glennie Walford, spelt GLYNNIEWAL, F as in Frank, ORD, at Martin Collins, and that's 2 L's, martincollins.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show and sharing all of that wealth of information on footings today, Glennie. We really appreciate having had you on, and take note, people, if you're building an arena, work with a professional, check out the Martin Collins website, and make sure you're not having to rectify costly mistakes later on.
Well, thank you very much indeed. And yes, as you say, it's a big investment. Do it once and do it right.
Well, coming up next, we have my Kickstarter pick of the week. And before we get started with the pick, Helena, I thought we'd do a review of 2 of them that we've talked about so far, because as you know, Kickstarters kind of have expiration dates.
Uh-huh.
And the first one I did was the mag belt. Remember, that was the belt that has a magnet in it, so it's adjustable by magnet, and you don't have to worry about holes or any of that anymore. And I kind of thought it was cool, so I ended up getting one. I actually put in for one. Well, I wrote to the guys from Magbelt and told them that we had done this little thing with them, for them, and they wrote back. And we listened to the Stable Scoop show and loved the feature. Thank you so much for putting us on your show. Mike and I both come from horse-owning families.
Wow, who knew? You know what it is?
Yeah.
Innovation. When you have horses, you're constantly thinking about ways to make your life easier and less smelly.
Well, he says Mike's mom actually commented to us that our patent-pending tightening system would work great for horse blankets. We're currently working on a prototype, and we'll let you know once we get it figured out. So there you go. Thank you for your support. So you never know who you're going to meet, right?
Horse blankets.
Yep.
All
Isn't
right.
that cool? Well, this is how well they've done. I think they had maybe $25,000 or something when we talked a couple of weeks ago, and they had just started the campaign, so it had a lot of days left, like 27 days left.
Yeah.
Well, they had a goal of $7,500, and with Kickstarter, you have to reach the goal, or they don't get any money at all. Everything just cancels.
Right.
Well, they're up to $399,000.
Wow.
With 6,687 backers. With 3 days to go. So, yes, they've made their goal. So, I don't think they have to sew the belts on the sewing machine in the living room anymore. They can probably get a factory to help them. And it looks like this one is definitely going through. So,
let me ask you a question. Do you have to pay the money back on Kickstarter, or is this are these donations?
These are donations now, and you're taking a risk because if they never do it, you're out your money. So if they fizzle, you're kind of out your money. So you're really supporting them to get started and to create a business. And then you're hoping that they actually do. Now, usually what happens is if you get this kind of backing, they're creating the business. Now, if it's a total outright fraud, let's say they never had intended to do this, and Kickstarter finds out about it, then they go after them, they cancel all the cards, they refund all the money. So Kickstarter will come in cases of total fraud.
Okay.
But now, if they send you the product and it's kind of crappy, that's a chance you took. So that is a risk you take because it's a crowdfunding campaign. So you're not buying a product, you're helping fund a campaign, and they happen to give you a perk of whatever it is. They'll tell you if you pledge this much, you get this as a perk, and that perk is, in this case, you get a mag belt, right? So. But anyway, they did very well on this one. Congratulations to the guys. They sound like a couple of great guys, and it looks like they might actually be working on something horsey in the future. So that's cool.
Spreading the love.
Now, do you remember last week we really made a lot of fun and talked about the one that was called the Slip Cup, and it was for playing beer pong, so you didn't get your ping pong ball wet when playing beer pong. Remember that one?
Yep.
Well, they have now funded the campaign. They have 13 days to go, and they've raised, out of $70,000 goal, they've raised almost $100,000.
Oh, my God.
Because there's a lot of drunks out there who apparently don't getting germs in their beer. So
that would be me.
If you missed that one, go back and listen to past episodes. So there's a couple updates on one. I thought it'd be fun to do updates on one we've actually talked about too.
I'm drooling over the money these people are getting. And my sweetheart has an entire career lending money to small business startups.
Yeah, little amounts of money that they have to beg for and submit tons of paperwork.
It's the paperwork. No kidding.
Yeah,
they are putting their wares out there.
Yeah. Okay, the next one's going to drive you insane then in that case.
Okay.
All right, so this week's, why don't I just play the video?
Okay.
This week's pick. There's a little song in here in the beginning, so we'll let him get through that. Yeah, this one's going to make your boyfriend want to quit his job.
The giant unicorn lamp is a magical lamp that enhances the ambience in your living space.
She said giant unicorn lamp. That's what she said.
A great companion for any late-night browsing on the web. No more reading in the dark. The giant unicorn lamp can easily add an elegant and sophisticated atmosphere to any living space.
Oh my God.
You saw the picture?
Oh my God.
It is also a multicolored changing LED lamp.
Oh, it changes colors.
Featuring wireless remote control that can change colors with
wireless
just the push
remote
of a
control. So, I don't know. Can you describe this? It kind of looks like a Stay Puft Marshmallow unicorn, right?
It is adorable. Oh my God. They have a small one too?
Yeah, they have a mini unicorn lamp. So they have the giant unicorn lamp. It's about 2 feet tall, and it's very puffy. Oh, how would you describe this?
It's a
cartoonish kind of unicorn lamp.
It's a
not realistic, cartoonish.
No,
puffy.
It's really cartoonish, a little anime. It's a little anime.
Yeah. And very puffy.
And that's totally anime. Oh my God, the picture with the little girl.
This unicorn's a little crusty. Probably needs a diet. It's very crazy.
Yeah, he's a little crusty, and his legs are he has no legs.
Pony,
his hooves come right out of his belly. He is absolutely adorable.
And it's actually a lamp. Yeah, it has a light in it, LEDs in it. Yeah. It's
for somebody who's the graphic designer in me really likes the softness and the simplicity of the lines of the design. It's not obtrusive. It's not busy. So it could really, it could go in a kid's room, but it could be a really neat contemporary piece in someone's transitional room. It can work anywhere.
Well, it comes with a remote control, and you can get flash mode. You can have your unicorn flashing. You can get strobe mode. You can have your unicorn strobing. Fade mode, smooth mode, and 16 different solid colors you can get in your lamp.
It's really cute, and it's only like $14.99.
No,
What?
That's where you're incorrect. You're not reading the pledges correctly. The mini unicorn light, you could pledge $15 and get one of those. But to get one of the large giant uni lamps, is $85.
Oh, still not bad.
You think? Now they're all gone, by the way. The $85 level's all gone. Or wait a minute. You still can get one giant uni lamp. It says it's $125 value for $85 if you order now. Estimated delivery November of 2015. That's the other thing about putting your money up for these is they haven't manufactured them yet. That's why they're raising the money. So they tell you an estimated ship date. So you would hopefully have your giant unicorn lamp in time for Christmas if you know anybody that wants a giant.
I am in love with this company. Why do you do this to me?
I thought it was absolutely ridiculous and silly, but now you love it. See, there's the difference.
Not only do I love it, but here's the thing. Okay, so now you click on their website and you go to the other things that they make.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, I'm crushing on this company big time. They make a skull teaspoon.
A skull teaspoon?
Yeah. It's really cool. And they make a bunny tail cotton ball dispenser, and they make a giant octopus mug.
What is a Smoko Incorporated? SMOKO Incorporated.
And okay, this I have to get, but it's sold out. You need to hook up with these people and get me one of these. A robot cleaning ball. It's like a fuzzy ball that's a robot. Oh my God.
I kind of like the egg and toast salt and pepper shaker.
The Earth Nightlight is cool. They have Garden Critter solar lights. What a wonderful, okay, all my silliness aside, what an imaginative product line that they have.
Yeah, because one of them is a book called How to Swear Around the World.
It's the perfect balance of sweet and innocent and fun and punk. Like they have a jellyfish bath light. And I'm the unicorn. See, the giant unicorn just completely fits with their brand.
Well, they've done okay. Their goal was $28,500. They have 12 days to go. And they currently have 1,411 backers for $96,000. So I think the giant unicorn lamp was a hit.
Yeah, good for them. These guys are great. Go out and support them. The giant unicorn lamp.
See, that was sort of horsey. I found one that was sort of horsey.
Now you've given me something else to do besides my work.
There you go.
I need to go and search Kickstarter.
You can by the way, you can waste a lot of time searching Kickstarter. Trust me.
What did I just say? Thank you for giving me something else to distract me from my work.
All right, let's do our Tack and Habit pick of the week. There's a product that we've actually tested out. So it's going to help you listen to our shows.
This Tack and Habit segment is sponsored by Flirting with the World. Find us online at flirtingwiththeworld.com. It's a blog for women, men, horse lovers, not horse lovers, although if you're a horse lover, you'll really appreciate it a lot more. Fashion, style, romance, how to flirt, how to not get yourself all messed up and crazy. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Go to flirtingwiththeworld.com and join us for a fun and lively discussion.
Well, my review is something I've had for about a month now. I absolutely love it. It will help you listen to our shows. If you listen to our show through your phone, no matter which player you use or if you use our app or iTunes or whatever, you know that you have to wear earbuds because phone speakers are not very loud. Well, so I thought when we go out to the pool, it would be nice to have a speaker that we could actually hear music and actually hear podcasts or whatever. And also, when we go out to the barn, and I don't like always wearing my earphones. It's so hot here that you just don't want to be wearing anything, to be honest with you. But we don't want to be wearing my earphones all the time, and they get caught when I'm cleaning stalls or doing stuff, the wire and all that stuff. So I just wanted to have a speaker. And that's what I found. I tried the Jam Plus. That's JAM Plus wireless Bluetooth speaker. And it's a little round thing. It's a little round cylinder. It's about 4 inches high and about 4 inches round in circumference. And it is very loud. The sound quality is really, really good. And the thing I like about this is the battery seems to last about 4 or 5 hours in it. And then you just recharge it in a normal micro USB charging, any micro USB charging cable you can use. And one of the cool things about this is it does pick up to about 30 feet away. So I can actually have the phone on me, walk around the house, and the speaker's still going. It goes pretty loud. You can hear it very well at the pool. You can hear it very well in the house. It makes me sound wonderful because I've listened to my podcast before, and it kind of gives me a deep, richer voice, which I like. Yeah, it makes me sound great. You sound terrible on it, but I sound terrific.
What?
So, I really like this little speaker. It's like $35 at Amazon. You can get them for... Yeah, I've seen them in the store for 40 some. Amazon has them in the 30s. And they come in a multitude of colors. I got the blue one. You can get them in like 10 different colors. So it's called the Jam Plus wireless Bluetooth speaker. The other thing I really liked about it, my last thing, is when you turn it on, there's a button on the bottom, you just push the button. And it tells you, there's a voice that comes on and says powering on. It tells you how much battery you have left.
Okay.
The little voice. And then it says it's pairing Bluetooth, pairing with the Bluetooth device. And then it tells you paired, and then the sound just comes on. So when you hit play on your Bluetooth device, everything comes through it. Now, if you get a phone call, guess what comes through it? Your phone call. So you will hear the other end of the conversation through the Bluetooth speaker. You have to turn it off at that point. But it really does work. It has a volume control on the Bluetooth speaker, which is really nice. So you can turn it up or down. I like it. I think it works great. It's very loud, and it pairs beautifully. It doesn't have any trouble. It's never had trouble finding Bluetooth pairing, which sometimes is a pain in the butt.
No kidding. Yeah. Cannot find device. Cannot, no device is down.
Yeah, I know.
No device is found. You're like,
I know. Shut up and find it. That's your job.
That's your job. What am I paying you for?
You said you had one you tried.
I do, and I have the Beatbox.
Oh yeah,
version.
How did that work?
It's good, and it's actually it's great. It pairs up very nicely with either an iPhone or an Android. So again, that's getting it working is kind of key to liking it. Not Beatbox. What the heck is the name of it?
Is it Beats by Dre? Is it one of those?
Beats. Yeah. BEATZ. Beats.
BATS.
BAT.
You know what? You probably do have a Beatbox.
Yeah.
You have a Beatbox Hi-Fi wireless Bluetooth. Is it kind of rectangular in size and has a target symbol on the front?
Yep.
That's it. Yep. That's a Beatbox 203
Urban
Hi-Fi.
Beats. That's what it is. Urban Beats.
Yep.
So, anyway, we love it. It's really, and you can take it outside. It's not really rectangular. This is the outdoor version.
Okay.
So, and I don't want to say it's weatherproof, but it's, weather resistant sort of thing.
Don't dunk it in the pool.
Don't dunk it in the pool. And it's got this hard but soft, this thick rubber coating all around it.
Okay.
So if you accidentally knock it off the table while you're on your way to the grill, while you're listening to music and trying to grill up some fish for dinner, for your family who's visiting from New York, it won't smash into a million pieces.
You've done that.
Who, me? So, yeah. So anyway, but having the wireless remote speaker, I thought it was like a luxury. It's an absolute necessity now. We take this thing everywhere with us.
So, how much would this one run? Do you know how much this one was?
It was actually pretty cheap. I think it was like $30-something.
Yeah, about the same as mine then. Is it round? Is yours round?
It's like an octagon shape.
Yeah, okay.
No. It's like a polygon.
Yeah, got it. Okay. There's so many of these now. And the thing is, I've actually had some of these in the past that the sound's been terrible. They're just tinny and chintzy sounding.
I'm going to say that the sound is good. It's not as good as the Bose system I have.
Yeah, but that was hundreds of dollars too. So,
yeah. What I'm saying is, so if you have a good system in the house and don't expect the same level of quality from your wireless remote speaker. especially if you're someplace where your cellular where you have to you're actually streaming music. Like let's say you have Spotify or Pandora and you're streaming. The quality of the sound coming in through your network is going to be diluted, and then it's going to hit the speaker as well. So just don't expect the same level of quality as your good one, as your good speaker.
So the big question is, do I sound good on it?
I don't know. I haven't listened to our podcast yet, but I guess I should.
Jeez.
Well, see, we listen to Spotify on Buck's phone because he subscribes to Spotify.
Okay.
So I guess I'll have to get I'll have to have him install.
All I care is that I sound good on it. That's all I care.
Well, we'll have to have him install the Horse
test
Radio app.
Yes,
so
you'll
that
have to
we can
test it.
download the shows and listen on his.
I mean, we don't listen to our own shows mostly, so I don't. I
No.
understand. Well, very good. There's 2 suggestions for how you can listen to the show with a wireless speaker. And that's about it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it. We appreciate you listening. And, of course, you can get that app we were talking about on iOS or Android, the free Horse Radio Network app. Just search for Horse Radio Network. Stable Scoop is one of 8 shows on there. It's free and it's easy to use. And we're, of course, can be found at stablescoop.com. All of our past episodes, there's only like 20 episodes of each show on the app. To get the past episodes, you have to go to stablescoop.com and either download them from the website or listen to them on the website, all the way back to episode number 1, 8 years ago, coming up August 8th. And you can find Helena at...
You can find me at flirtingwiththeworld.com. I spend a lot of time there doing a whole lot of who knows what. But I also have a regular job. You can find me if you're looking for marketing work, whether you're a small business or large, a sole proprietor, or you work for a company that doesn't have a marketing person. Find me at sparkleandboom.com.
Many thanks to our sponsors. We appreciate them as well. Equisketch and EasySignsOnline.com. That's it for this week.
That was plenty, and it was a lot of fun. There will be more next week. Until then, happy scooping.